Welcome back to Rouse Rising. I have an awesome video for you today. I'm sharing with you a big grocery haul as well as a dinner meal prep video. So I hope you get inspired from all these delicious foods that we are cooking up this week. I have a new toy to share with you, a new kitchen gadget, as well as so many delicious homemade meals made from scratch recipes, simple and tasty meals cooked from home. Hi friends, welcome back to Rouse Rising. I have a little grocery haul for you today. My name is Katie, and on this channel I share with you nourishing meal prep because that's what we're trying to do here. Eat delicious foods, and we have to keep those stocked up, so we grocery shop weekly as well as sometimes I do like a large once a month grocery haul where I buy all the other stuff that we stock up on in the house. Back here we have Califia Farms.
Wiz Khalifa.
Khalifa Farms organic milk, unsweetened, only 3 ingredients, shake well. We've been buying these plant-based dips because we're not making them from scratch. And the tzatziki was on sale for $1.35, and we grabbed the 2 that they had, so the kids can have that with some vegetables we got to dip in. And then the cilantro jalapeno dip is really good too, but we paid full price for that. 6 pounds of beef to supplement the other beef we have and the other stuff we have. We eat about 2 pounds a day between me and you, a pound each, you think, or less than that?
Yeah.
I eat about half a pound. Aaron eats about...
I probably have a pound and a half, 2 pounds. You're supposed to have 3 pounds a day.
3 pounds a day?
That's what you're supposed to have.
Oh my goodness. Well, we're not quite there yet. I eat a ton of eggs, but yeah, as far as the meat goes, we cook probably 2 pounds a day and have a little bit left over for breakfast the next day, which is nice. 4 packs of uncured hardwood smoked bacon for Hagen Bacon. And then these gigantic packs of meat. These were 48 ounces each of bacon and locally grown in Oregon. These were on sale. They're normally $20 for one of these packs, and these were $10.99 for these big packs of bacon. 3 packs of organic eggs. Sometimes we get eggs from friends, but we eat a ton of eggs during the week or every week. Lots of eggs. So I just grabbed 3 of those to top us off. 4 bunches of bananas. I always find the bananas with the most in the bunch. So we grabbed 4 of those. 3 sweet potatoes. We have some sweet potatoes already, but I'm going to make up a whole bunch of cubed sweet potatoes for breakfast. 3 peppers. 2 red and 1 yellow. They're really good. These have been super sweet lately from the store, and the kids really like to eat those raw. 5 pears. That was all that they had. They were out of a whole bunch of produce. I don't know if they were just restocking today or if they're just out of all their pears, oranges, and apples. They're not out of all of them. I got a little bit here. 1 pineapple needs to ripen up. 2 melons, Brussels sprouts. These are super good with bacon grease and some bacon. That's how we cook those. Just saute them up in the pan until they are tender. Another bag of this broccoli slaw, 1 giant bag of baby carrots for the week, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 packs of riced cauliflower. I'm going to throw these into the freeze dryer and just take care of those and put them in our long-term food storage. 6 cucumbers. We like these with apple cider vinegar. The kids make cucumber pickles. They just peel them, slice them thin, and throw some apple cider vinegar on them. 3 bags of the Honey Crisp apples for the kiddos that like apples, and 2 huge bags of grapes. They had organic grapes for $8.99 a pound, but I grabbed the 2 biggest non-organic grapes just to have. The melons, we've been eating a lot of melons, so going through 2 of these a week. And that is our weekly produce grocery haul. We also have, I have to say this disclaimer because some people think that this is all we eat. We also have bulk cheese in the refrigerator. We have fresh cow's milk, raw cow's milk from a local farm that we get. We have a bunch of food in our pantry and in our fridges and freezers This is just the fresh stuff that we have to get every single week because this is what we go through. This week's total was $225.29 for all of these groceries. The big ticket items were the $10 bacons and the $20. These are for a 3-pack of organic grass-fed meat. It's $20 for 3 pounds. We can get really good meat from the farm local to us for $6.99 a pound, and we can see the cows. And my next Azure standard haul, I'm going to load up on different cuts of meat because they were running low on their ground beef the last time I was there, and I bought almost all that they had in stock. So we're gonna have to get like some chuck roasts and things like that to slow cook and shred up. So in the meantime, we've got these ground beefs. There's the raw milk we get. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and I'll share some meals with you. All right, this is my lunch today. It's about half a pound of meat over some rice and a bunch of grapes. All right, these are unwashed grapes. Yucky, 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 yucky. These are washed grapes. Make sure you wash your produce because there's lots of gross on it. And then I'm washing these, so those are going in there. This is just apple cider vinegar, a little bit of baking soda, and water. I'll do like a couple splashes of apple cider vinegar, dust it with baking soda, and then add cold water, and I just let them soak for about 15-20 minutes, rinse them off, and they come out looking like that. All right, I have another recipe from the autoimmune protocol. This is the turmeric beef stew recipe, so let's get into it. All right, here's turmeric beef stew. I'm gonna make this tonight for my 2 oldest boys, and actually this is gonna be for all of us except for Hagen and Erin. Hagen because she cannot have any mammal meats, and Erin because it's gonna have potatoes and carrots and spices and stuff in it. So here's the ingredients and the directions. Go ahead and screenshot this if you want to try it. And here's some of the notes. All right, so we have some yellow potatoes, our beef stew meat. We have carrots, salt, ginger, cumin, coriander, turmeric, beef broth, and then I'm going to be using some gluten-free flour to coat the beef and to saute it in my Instant Pot. Okay, I'm gonna hit the saute function on my Instant Pot, and I am going to coat my beef in salt and some gluten-free flour. It says to use tapioca flour. This has tapioca flour in it, but it's not all tapioca flour. I'm gonna season my beef with a little bit of salt and some pepper. And then a tablespoon of this flour, but I'm gonna use a little more because this is more than a pound of beef. All right, 1.5 tablespoons of olive oil goes into the pot. This beautiful dispenser from Moly Moly. Okay, we're gonna add the potatoes and the carrots in here. Just put a little bit of water to scrape the bottom. And then we're gonna sprinkle these vegetables with our delicious seasonings. So we've got our turmeric, our cumin, our coriander, and our ginger. All of these have anti-inflammatory properties. There's also a little bit of salt in there. So we're just gonna cover, it's a teaspoon of each one, minus the salt. It's about half a teaspoon because I already added the salt in with the beef. So we're gonna get these going and coated nicely. And let them saute for a little bit. It says to saute these for 2 to 3 minutes. Use your discretion. And also to keep any of the spices from sticking to the bottom too bad, you can add a little bit of water to that. And then to this, we're going to add 2 cups of beef broth. Which is about half of this quart. We're gonna put a lid on and we're just gonna let this simmer for about 20 minutes, but I'm gonna put it on slow cook after it gets heated through. I'm gonna slow cook it for probably a couple hours. To get your home in order and to make all of your meal plans, all of your garden planning, all of your emergency preparedness planning, there's your garden grid. We've got everything in this book, from chores. You've got all of your chores, your meal plan. We have Bible verses in here. You go to the front of the book and you have prayer lists. You have passwords. You've got your weekly meal plans. You've got your budgets of the month and all sorts of winter clothing lists, every clothing list for every season. This homemaking planner is the bee's knees. Make sure you check it out, linked down below in this video's description, for all of your homemaking planning. It's amazing. I took advantage of the time I had now that dinner was already prepared, and I went ahead and used up the rest of the potatoes and the rest of the carrots that I had and made 4 pint jars of deer stew. This is super easy to make, and it takes 75 minutes in the pressure cooker to cook these to have shelf-stable fast food. All right, the kids are coming home from school, so we've got peppers, carrots, and tzatziki sauce, and then we're gonna make them turkey spaghetti. So we're just gonna do ground turkey meat, some marinara sauce, and some pasta. This is tonight's lineup: spaghetti, ground turkey. We're gonna shred up this zucchini left over from the other day, chop up some onion and saute those, and then add the sauce, and we're gonna have a quick and easy soccer night dinner. I shredded the zucchini super fine and diced up the garlic and onion pretty small and sauteed them all in my caraway pan with a little splash of olive oil. And we're just gonna get everything marrying together nice so that the flavors come out and make this spaghetti delicious. Next, I added the turkey, and we're just gonna saute this until brown and then add a jar of tomato sauce. We also cooked our pasta, so everything is all ready. We've got our turkey spaghetti, and this is enough to feed the 5 kids 2 meals. So this is gonna get us through 2 dinners this week, which I've always done in the past. I always try to make extra for another night, but I kind of lost my rhythm there for a few months with all these dietary issues going on amidst our family. So now that I'm kind of getting back on track and I'm figuring out what works for all of us, I'm able to make larger meals so that we can have leftovers for those busy nights. And I'm telling you right now, we are slammed. We have 4 kids playing soccer, and we have something to do Monday through Saturday. It's nice to have some simpler meals and to have all the vegetables cut up and all the fruit washed and everything ready to go. The kids can just grab what they want. I can just throw everything into a bin to take with us to soccer practices and soccer matches. It just has been nice getting back into that. So if you guys have been around here, if you've watched all my other meal prep videos, there was a time in our life where we all ate the same things, and it was easy because I would just make big meals for the whole family. And now it's Aaron eats one way, I eat another way, and then we have a child with food intolerances, food allergies, and we have to be very careful with her food. And then we have other kids that they can eat anything they want to, you know, they're basically a garbage disposal. So that's what we're working with right now. And it's nice that I don't feel so daunted anymore, and I've just found things that have worked really well for my family. So I want to encourage you, if you're going through similar struggles, then just know that you can do this. You got this. You can get through it. You can make your family wholesome food, make a whole bunch of it at once so you can feed yourselves for a few days. I've been making large batches of sweet potatoes and Brussels sprouts and cutting up the peppers and making broccoli slaw, having fruit ready, having everything ready. and doing it one day at a time. So one day I might make a big batch of Brussels sprouts. Of course, I make the kids breakfast. It just depends, you know, what foods we have leftovers, but I try to make as much as I can that I know that my family will eat within like the next few days. And then I have sides for a few days, and I've got my mains for a few days. And it's how I've always cooked, but now with 5 kids, and 3 of them are getting to be big kids. They eat a lot of food, I'm telling you. So we've got to keep everything easy to grab, easy to feed them as far as nutritionally simple foods, and we can all stay afloat that way. These vacuum seal containers make it real easy to meal prep and preserve food for the week. All right, so I took one of those beef chuck roasts and slow cooked it, and we just slow cooked it plain. We didn't do any vegetables, any root vegetables or anything, because we want to shred this up. And then I'm just going to put salt on it because of Aaron's diet and mine. We don't do anything, like no pepper for us, because pepper causes us so much pain and all of our injuries, our backs and my shoulder, and Aaron's got arthritis. So if he has any kind of pepper or peppers or any kind of seasonings, spices, they make his arthritis really flare up. He gets super inflamed and he's in pain. And if he continues to eat that way, let's say for a week at a time, like we did recently traveling, he was in a lot of pain for about 2 weeks. It took a while for him to recover. His arthritis got really, really bad. And he even was walking with a cane during that time because he was hurting so bad. But amazingly, when he doesn't eat peppers and inflammatory foods, his arthritis and inflammation is a lot better. So we just season with Redmond's Real Salt. So we've got our Redmond's Real Salt right here, and we just season with that. Lots of salt on our food, and that's how we eat. And we're probably going to make up some kind of tacos or tortilla wraps or something to have these with. Right here we've got our tortilla dough. I'm just going to let this sit for a little while and let the water absorb and make it all nice. You cover it and let it sit for about 30 minutes. And then we're going to use this new fancy tortilla press that Carol, one of the subscribers, Carol, so generously and graciously sent us to make making tortillas easier for me. So I'm really excited about that. It comes with parchment paper, and it is nice and heavy. It's by Uno Casa. And I'm going to link this down below in the video's description for you all. So if you're looking for a tortilla press so you're not using pie plates like I was, this is going to be a game changer. But I'm going to give a full review and let you know. And we're going to use this for our beef tacos, and I'm going to make a little slaw to go in there as well. So the slaw I'm going to make, I'm going to use this cilantro with jalapeno cauliflower dip. I love this stuff, but the jalapenos do not love me, and I'm going to pay for it tomorrow if I eat any of it. But I'm going to mix some of that up with some of this broccoli slaw. Our food processor broke, so I went ahead and just bought this broccoli slaw already shredded up. And we're going to use both of these, mix them up in this bowl to go with our tacos. All right, let's get this rolling. We're going to make some tortillas. So let's try again. You take 2 tablespoons of dough, roll it up between your hands, stick it between the parchment paper, and mash it down. I might be making them too big too, as well, but squish. All right, let's see how, oh, not quite enough. So you'll learn, you just got to get the right learning curve down. Maybe spin it once to get it nice and even on both sides, and then voila, perfect tortillas. Thank you, Miss Carol. So I'm gonna let that sit there until my pan opens up. Keep it covered, keep my dough covered, and I'll get in the rhythm of making these. Oh, this is amazing. This is so much easier with the tortilla press. Oh my goodness. All right, when you cook these tortillas, you do 40 seconds on each side, and then you flip them and do a little bit more just to get them browned up a little bit like that. That is what your tortillas should look like. So I'm just making little street tacos for the kids and putting them over there. And yeah, that's how we're doing it. This is how we're serving them up, with some shredded beef. This is just chuck roast that we slow cooked until it was shreddable, added a little bit of salt, and then we're gonna top these with this slaw. So I finally recorded assembling them right when I was at the tail end of my slaw, but that is the jalapeno broccoli slaw on top. These were amazing. The kids were gobbling them up. For Hagen, we did the black beluga lentils you see down there. So she had the black beluga lentils, the broccoli slaw on her tortillas, and she doesn't have to be gluten-free, so she was able to enjoy these. I'm going to start making corn tortillas so that I can have them, because I have celiacs. I can't have anything with gluten, but the next time you guys see me making tortillas, they're going to be straight up corn tortillas without any flour in them, or without any gluten flour in them. All right, so we've got leftovers, we've got fruit, we've got mung bean curry, Aaron and mine, our ground burger that we eat. We have some leftover rice here, not a whole lot. Big old thing of grapes. I got another thing of grapes in the freezer, in the sink. And we are fully stocked on vegetables. So yes, we do eat vegetables from time to time. Mostly raw, sometimes cooked. The things that we cook are like the Brussels sprouts, and we'll cook the asparagus down there. Everything else we mostly eat raw. That's how we do it. Tonight I made the kids turkey spaghetti, and this is leftovers. So I think tomorrow night's going to be a leftover night, because we've got the macaroni and cheese, curried, what are those things? Curried mung beans. We also have some more chopped vegetables here, or at least a few peppers left. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and make a big batch of these sweet potatoes. So what we like to do is peel the sweet potatoes, cube them up, and saute them in some coconut oil and sprinkle them with Redmond's real salt. Then we place these into one of our vacuum sealed containers, and we have an easy side dish for breakfast, lunch, or dinner already made up. And I do the same thing with the Brussels sprouts. I just make a whole bunch of them, and then of course you saw we have the broccoli slaw, and then we use the cabbage as an addition to stir fries, and we're going to use the cabbage for taco nights and things like that. We just shred it up really finely, and we're able to use the cabbage for a variety of meals. So right here, I'm just getting everything going into my cast iron skillet. This cast iron skillet means the world to me. I have one from both Aaron's mother, and this one belonged to my mother, and there's a long story behind this cast iron skillet. I thought that I had trashed it or thrown it away at one point in my life, and turns out it had been sitting in my brother's garage for years. And one day I said, "Hey, this is a really cool cast iron skillet. Are you going to use it?" And he said, "No, that's actually your cast iron skillet, and it's just been sitting here waiting for you to take it." And I said, "Oh my goodness, I thought I threw this skillet away." I was devastated. I didn't know what I had in cast iron at the time, but apparently it was during one of my moves, and my brother just happened to be storing a bunch of my things at his home, because he's so kind and he's always looked out for me and taken care of me and my belongings while I've traveled and moved around. So I got my mother's cast iron skillet. I got it back probably when Riker was around 3 years old, I believe, and we use this skillet every single day. Cast iron is amazing. Let me know down in the comments below, do you all want me to do a video on how to care for your cast iron? Because I can do that for you. What I do typically is after I cook something, I just rinse it out with hot water, scrub it with a scrubber, and place it back on the stovetop and put oil, lard, or whatever fat I have on hand. I throw it back in there, wipe it really good, let it heat up really well, and then it stays seasoned. Occasionally I have to do a full seasoning on it depending on what I cook or how it gets cleaned, but I typically don't ever use soap. And if food comes out of it clean, then I just rinse it out and get it ready for the next meal. But I love cast iron. You can see back there in the top right is my small, I think that's like a 6-inch skillet. And then this one that I'm cooking in right now is a 10-inch skillet, which is my preferred size. Anything bigger is hard for me to lift. It hurts my shoulder. I do have a shoulder injury that I've been living with for the last 15 years now. So I have to stick with this size skillet because it's easy for me to use. alas, I don't need the shoulder damage. I'll just break out another skillet if I need to. I'll get Erin's mom's cast iron skillet out, and I'll just double cook things in 2 different skillets like that, because that works really well for our family. The family is back home, and prior to going to soccer, they had spaghetti, but this is what they're having now. Some curried lentils, rice, and sweet potatoes here. All right, this is what we have in here for Miss Hagen. We have 4 pieces of turkey sausage and 4 turkey patties for the next day or so. And then we have a bunch of turkey bacon for her for this week. A couple of layers thick of that. And then over here, I'm gonna put away, this is a ton of bacon for the rest of the family. So we're gonna freeze a bunch of this and put some in the fridge for this weekend for sandwiches, bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches. Hagen's gonna use her bacon for bacon, egg, or bacon. She has mozzarella vegan cheese. That's my new method. Make as much stuff as one kind of thing as I can every single day and just keep rotating what that is. And then we always have food that we can combine both in the freezer, in the refrigerator. This is what we have still. These are all the leftovers that we need to eat tonight. We've got sweet potatoes here, fresh peppers, more produce in there. I'm going to cut up some cucumbers, cut up some more peppers, and then I'm also going to cook some Brussels sprouts today. So I'm going to grab out a bag of these, get those going. Got some melon and all of our eggs. All right, soccer practice, soccer game. So we're taking pizza because that's all we had time for today. A huge bag of fruit. We've got carrots as a vegetable. We've got sliced apples in there and 6 bananas on top. Diapers, wipes, some of the water bottles. I need my water bottle. All right, the next night we definitely need something nourishing after having our once a week pizza night. So what I'm making is a chicken gravy, and we're gonna serve it over rice. So I have some chicken thighs that are in the Instant Pot, and we're gonna cook those with some diced onion on top. And once those are all cooked up, we are going to remove the meat from the chicken thigh bones, and we are gonna throw all the meat back into the Instant Pot with some vegetables. I am gonna use that 1-to-1 gluten-free flour to make a gravy, and we're gonna make a chicken vegetable gravy to go over some rice. It's really nourishing, it's really simple. So what I do is I put the insert into the Instant Pot. You see that little handle there? That is the grate that's inside the Instant Pot that makes it easy for me to remove the meat. I also put 1 cup of water in the bottom of the Instant Pot so nothing burns, and it gives it moisture to steam all of the meat. I'm not going to do anything fancy seasoning wise yet. We're just going to get this chicken with these onions cooked up. So I put the lid on, I hit the poultry button, and I let them cook for 30 minutes. Once it's done, I release the pressure, take the chicken out off with that grate with the handles, and then we have some broth left in the bottom. It's about 2 cups in there, so I add 2 cups of frozen mixed vegetables, and I turn this back on to the soup function just to get those vegetables cooking. And then I'm gonna chop up some potatoes, or hand dice up in the air like this. I end up using my cutting board because I just wanted to demonstrate for you all the size. So you cube up your little yellow potatoes, your golden potatoes, your russet potatoes, whatever potatoes you have. But we have these nice golden potatoes, and we're going to use those. So I'm just cubing them up small into little diced pieces, which make it nice and easy for my kids to eat. They can get a potato and the vegetables all on a spoon, so you just don't want them too big. You might want to wait for your chicken to cool a little bit, but I don't, I burn my fingers. Here we go, diving right into it. We're just going to start pulling the meat off. And what I'm going to do is, because most of this meat is going to be in bigger chunks, I'm just going to set it down in my little pie dish here, and we're going to pull off as much meat as we can. It's going to continue to cool down there, so I'll be able to shred it up with some forks in a little bit. But we are going to take the meat off the bones. We're going to set the bones aside because we're going to use those to make a stock or a broth after we make this chicken dish for dinner. So those bones with the tough connective tissues and the skin and all the goobery bits are going to go back into a pot with some water, and we're going to cover the bones and make a delicious stock. Nothing goes to waste around here. We try to use every last bit of a product that we possibly can. So all of the vegetables and things, the ends and bits and leftover pieces that we have left over, I also stick all of those in a bag, and I have a bag that I keep in my freezer. So all of my bits and bobs from veggies get thrown into that bag, and then that bag gets dumped into my chicken stock or my chicken broth or my bone broth, whatever I happen to be making at the time. Or you can use all of your vegetable scraps to make a vegetable broth, but definitely save your vegetable scraps, your skins, your peels of your washed vegetables so that you can use those in your broths. I'm going to remove some of the broth. I should have done this earlier. I didn't. So now I'm having to fish the broth out of the vegetables. And then we're going to be adding our 1-to-1 flour to this. So all you have to do is get your hot liquid into a vessel, and then we're going to whisk in the 1-to-1 flour. Then we're going to add it back into our pot. You can use regular flour or whatever you like for this to make. You can use cornstarch, whatever it is that you like to thicken up your dishes with is what you can use. You just want to make sure that you don't have any dry, clumpy lumps in it. So whisking it up works really well. And then I continue to use my whisk in my dinner to get all that mixed in there really well. Then we're going to add the chicken to this and just let it simmer for a few more minutes. Then I have to make some rice. I apologize for not remembering which subscriber, but one of you recommended that I get some poultry seasoning, and that was a great recommendation. So I'm adding a little bit of poultry seasoning to this. Also, seasoned to taste, I added some Redmond's real salt to this. You can add pepper. We no longer use pepper because it's a huge inflammatory trigger for Aaron and I. He's not eating this dinner. However, I'm going to have a little bit of this, and we are going to serve it over top of this delicious rice that we cooked with some bone broth that I had on my canned food shelf. So there you go. This is the delicious meal we have. These are the leftovers, and somebody's going to eat this in the next day or two for their meal. And this is the ground beef that I cooked up for Aaron. So he's going to have some of that. And then this is breakfast the next day. It is an egg scramble bowl with asparagus, sweet potatoes, and I served it over rice. Once a week or maybe once every other week, I will enjoy some sriracha. So I topped this with sriracha. It was delicious. Okay, tonight we're doing leftovers, which was the rice and chicken stuff. Hagen's having her leftover turkey spaghetti. And then we do fruits, vegetables in the middle. And we also had smoothies a little bit ago. And Bodhi's the only one with smoothie left. And Annika's having leftovers too. We're gonna do this chuck roast. I'm gonna throw some lard into my Instant Pot. I have it on saute right now. We're gonna sear both sides of this chuck roast, and then we're gonna slow cook it all day. Typically you don't want to do a frozen roast, but I don't even know if we're gonna be able to get it seared. Oh, there we go. I shoved it down in there. Woo! Alright, it's popping and cracking away, but we just wanted to brown both sides before we start slow cooking it. Okay, so in this pot we've got, I decided to make it a Mississippi pot roast, so we did the ranch, the peppers, and then I covered it with potatoes and carrots, and next we're going to chop up this onion and throw this on top too. The pot roast had slow cooked for about 2 hours before I added the rest of this, and it's going to slow cook the rest of the day. Here's the finished chuck roast. Anyways, put some vegetables in there. I'm going to pull these out because they're ready to go, and I'll put the chuck roast in there. Thank you all so much for joining me for this video. This is a little bit of pineapple that we chopped up. We always have lots of fruit on hand. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you got a lot of meal inspiration. And I will see you guys in the next video. It's going to be a grocery haul, so stay tuned. Click that subscribe button. Until next time, bye.